While the world looks with terror at the volatility of oil prices and utility bills draining bank accounts, the greatest restructuring of global economic power is happening right before your eyes, and 99% of people have no idea what is actually happening. The mainstream media keep telling you clean energy is a simple ecological choice or a green ideological crusade, but the harsh geopolitical reality is far different. This is not a green transition. It is a full-scale war for sovereignty and the financial survival of nations. If you look at history, every single decade of economic stagnation was triggered by an energy shock. And today, we are walking eyes wide open into the biggest energy bottleneck in human history.
If you keep holding your capital in traditional markets without understanding this paradigm shift, you are paying an invisible tax that will wipe out your wealth over the next 3 years. There is a specific reason why the richest countries on the planet are quietly abandoning gas and investing hundreds of billions into building a sovereign nuclear supply chain. Whoever controls the uranium cycle today will dictate who will be rich and who will be poor tomorrow. For 4 decades, Western economies relied on cheap foreign gas to artificially inflate corporate margins. But that fragile model completely shattered, exposing a devastating vulnerability in global supply chains. Printing paper money cannot generate gigawatts of electricity when foreign suppliers shut off the valves. And without reliable baseload power, modern industrial economies simply cease to exist.
The global race toward artificial intelligence and digitalization requires a massive amount of power that intermittent renewable sources like solar and wind simply cannot guarantee on their own. Solar panels and wind turbines are useful, but they suffer from the structural flaw of intermittency. When the sun sets and the wind stops, power grids face the real risk of systemic collapse. A single search query generated by artificial intelligence models consumes 10 times more electricity than a traditional search, and tech monopolies cannot afford even a single millisecond of blackout in their data centers. Fossil fuel markets are too volatile and subject to blackmail by exporting countries, and developed nations have finally understood this structural constraint. At the COP28 conference, over 20 leading nations, including the United States, France, Japan, and the United Kingdom, signed an unprecedented agreement to triple global nuclear capacity by 2050 and eliminate foreign dependency. This means global liquidity is shifting massively toward ultra-stable infrastructure, and those who position themselves before the crowd will gain an asymmetric financial edge.
But how exactly does this new map of power work, and how can you leverage it to your financial advantage? The first element to understand is the extraordinary energy density of uranium. A single nuclear fuel pellet, no larger than a fingertip, produces the same energy as 1 ton of coal, or 149 gallons of oil, creating unmatched logistical efficiency. Nuclear plants guarantee continuous production for 18 to 24 months without needing to refuel, offering a stability that is the true currency of exchange in the new world order. Right now, the global market is split into 2 irreconcilable strategic blocks. The Eurasian bloc, led by Russia and China, has dominated reactor exports and uranium enrichment capacity for years. This forced the Western bloc, through strategic alliances like the Sapporo 5, to invest billions to build a supply chain completely independent of Russian fuel. Without sovereign enrichment capabilities, a nation cannot power its cities, leaving its entire economy hostage to geopolitical tensions.
Projects for the autonomous production of advanced HALEU fuel and the development of small modular reactors are now backed by massive capital from sovereign wealth funds and the largest financial institutions on Earth. Big tech giants are no longer waiting for government decisions. They are directly buying the power output of private nuclear plants to guarantee the survival of their algorithms. This is the ultimate proof that energy sovereignty is the new benchmark for global finance. Small modular SMR reactors can be factory-built and installed near major industrial hubs, cutting construction timelines down from 12 years to just 3 years. This technological leap completely changes the economic equation, making nuclear power scalable, efficient, and highly profitable for the investors holding the tech.
If you stay attached to old investment models based on the apparent stability of fossil fuels, you will watch your purchasing power crumble under the impact of the incoming energy shock. Smart investors are positioning themselves across three key strategic assets before the retail market realizes what is happening. The first is direct exposure to raw uranium commodities and primary mining companies, which benefit from a structural supply deficit bound to last for years. The second is small modular reactor tech developers and fuel enrichment specialists holding the key patents for the energy of tomorrow. The third consists of next-generation high-yield power grid infrastructure, essential for distributing this massive amount of power. This is a straightforward reading of macroeconomic flows. Institutional capital is silently abandoning paper assets to acquire real infrastructure and scarce strategic resources.
Financial markets always reward those who understand where power shifts before it becomes obvious to the public. Those who ignore this transition will continue to pay the heavy price of energy inflation, watching their purchasing power get wiped out month after month. The time window to exploit this strategic gap is closing fast, and most people will be locked out when scarcity finally hits the public markets. But while the world focuses on uranium and power grid reorganization, another decision made behind closed doors a few days ago is about to permanently alter the value of paper money in your pocket. An even rarer resource that nobody is talking about is about to be hoarded in secret by central banks, creating a financial shock that will dwarf the current energy crisis. Subscribe to the channel right now and turn on notifications, because in the next video, I will reveal the exact asset they are quietly accumulating before this window of opportunity closes forever.